let's just say if Jesus was to come back and caught me in DR, it would have been, I don't know if I would have made it to heaven, you know what I'm saying? I'm back, guys. So I thought it would be really cool to do a quick little recap of my 2023, since my 2023 was giving up and down and round and round. And the way it started and the way it ended is like completely different in the best way. And I just thought it would be so dope to share with you guys, because why not? Why not? That's what we do here, right? So 2023 started off with me and my girl. We went to church and it was great. And then we came back to my place. That was January 1st, 2023. And then after, I can't remember when, I think the middle of the month, I ended up going away. Me and the same friend, we ended up going to DR, because like 2022, I was dying to go on a vacation, but I really couldn't afford to go on a vacation. I was doing hair, so I was renting a studio, doing hair full time. I ended up getting a part-time job like in November 2022. So it allowed me to be able to go on a vacation, because now I'm getting like the incomes, the different types of incomes. And so I ended up going away DR with my friend, and this time, I know that God is telling me I need to sit my behind down and relax. I need to be in my word. But I was just like, no, I just need to go on this vacation, because I already started to kind of like pull myself away from certain things, and just like, I was starting to refocus back on God. But at the same time, I thought I could go on this vacation and with my friend who was very much giving lukewarm, and I thought that I could do this and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Me and her spent most of our time talking about God. So we ended up going to the DR. It was like, I'm not gonna lie, I had a good time. It was fun, but I did feel like I did a whole lot of compromising. Like, yeah, I definitely did a whole lot of compromising. We went out, like we just, let's just say if Jesus was to come back and caught me in DR, it would have been, I don't know if I would have made it to heaven, you know what I'm saying? Fast forward, so I was renting a studio for hair, and it just so happened the person that I was paying rent to, they were not paying the landlord. It was like a business hub, so everyone kind of had their own like studio, their own rooms. So it was me and a barber and like a makeup artist. Everyone kind of had their own rooms, and we found out that the owner was not paying rent, so they ended up telling him he had to leave, which meant I had to leave. So we all had to leave. But at the same time, before that, God is so good, because before that, I was feeling this feeling as if like it was time for me to move on. Like I was starting to slow down with hair, but I didn't really understand why. I thought I was just slowing down with hair because where my studio was about 40 minutes away from where I lived. So it's like, oh yeah, like I want to bring my business to like my city where I actually live, the town that I live in, so that way I don't have to do that drive every single day, because it was driving me insane. But it just turns out that like God was kind of detaching me a little bit from hair, because I was going to take a little bit of a break from it. And so that happened, and then boom, I lost the studio. Horrible. And then my car started acting up. Okay, I ended up getting this part-time job like November 2022. Lost the job, they fired me. Child, like everything was falling apart. Now I'm like, I don't have no income, and I started to, a lot of my clients, some of my clients were still coming to my house, which was okay, but that wasn't enough. Like I had all kinds of bills, and it just, like, it was rough. It was really rough. But God is so good, because he restored all of that. I ended up finding a space where I could rent a chair from. I ended up getting a better job. Like I'm a corporate girly slash a business babe, you know what I'm saying? God ended up giving me a better job. He ended up giving me a new car. Like everything just kind of fell right back into place. Oh my gosh, God is so, guys, God is so faithful. He will really take care of your needs. Like what he says, I will help you. He says that even when you walk through the fires, you will not burn. Even though you go through the waters, you will not be swept away. He ain't tell no lie. My God ain't no liar. He ain't no liar, because he came through when it seemed like there was no way. He made a way when my back's against the wall and it seems like it was over. He made a way. Don't know how, but he did it. He made a way. Let me stop. That's not why you're here. Throughout this time, my spirit was not at peace, because I really was just hungry. I was so hungry for God, but also struggling with behavioral patterns that I got myself used to because of disobedience, and just opening doors to different things. And it was just really difficult for me to go into my word and pray I pray every day, but not like, oh God, thank you for my day, in Jesus name I pray, I meant like intimate prayers with God, like intimate conversations with God. So it was really difficult for me to do all of those things. But God gave me a word, Matthew 6:3. And I just kind of hung on to that word. I just meditated on that word, and I just kept I started to change certain behavior patterns, but I was also praying a lot for God to change those behavior patterns. So then he took me in a point where he just did a whole bunch of stuff, like, right, this is before we even hit like the middle of the year. Eventually I ended up falling so deep in love with God again, and becoming almost kind of radical. Like, he was teaching me things, in Jeremiah 33, he says, call on to me and I will tell you great and unsearchable things. And so as I was calling on to him, he was just revealing so much to me, about my life, about so many different things that I just wanted more. I wanted to hear more. I'm like, these are the things only God could reveal, because he is my maker. He is my manufacturer. He knows who I is. And so I spent the last 6 months of my 2023 just focused on God, fasting and praying and not hanging out with nobody, no distractions. Guys, I was off of TikTok. So my TikTok, I had a TikTok account that, I mean, it was starting to grow. Like, I've had it for about a year, and like I was getting quite, I was building a little bit of community. I wouldn't say I had like a lot of followers. Like, I had like 5K followers, but my views were like pretty dope, and I was starting to build something with the TikTok, but it was just like nonsense. It was nothing that was edifying. Some people, you can't just be out here doing whatever you want. And the thing is, the enemy, he will give you the clout. By like mid-July, I would say, I went to Miami. But I went to Miami with the same friend that I traveled with in January, okay? When I went away in January, it was all inclusive. So there were like built-in parties, you know what I mean? Everything was free. Like, there, like, a bus will come and take you guys to a location, and the location is like a pool party. And so to me, I'm just like, okay, well, like, I paid for it. Like, it's not like I'm going to a club. But with Miami, it was a bit different. The friend that I went with knew I wasn't about that life anymore. I mean, to be honest, I haven't been about that life in a very long time. Like, I've never, like, I can't tell you the last time where I went clubbing. Like, it's not my cup of tea. It hasn't been my cup of tea for a very long time. But so she already knew that, like, that wasn't what we were on. Like, I was just going for a good vibe. I was going to eat. I was going for a change of, environment. I went there. It was pretty good. Like, I stood my ground. People kept asking, like, we met so much people, you know how it is, like, you meet people and everybody kept asking, like, oh, what are you guys doing tonight, da, 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 da. And I only went for a few days, but I was like, no, I'm not doing anything. We're gonna go out to eat, and then, like, we're probably just gonna chill around or whatever, and then go back to the hotel. And everybody was kind of like, oh, really? Like, that is so whack. Like, literally, this girl called me whack. She's like, you're so whack. Like, who comes to Miami and doesn't go to a party? I'm like, me, I do that. No, I didn't compromise at all. So when I came back, I just locked myself up, didn't go nowhere, didn't do anything. I deleted my old TikTok, because it was really a distraction. Like, I love TikTok, and it was really distracting me. So I deleted it. I felt like God wanted me to start a new TikTok. And I was like, oh, but I started to build a following already over here. Maybe I could just change it up a little bit. But it didn't feel like it was gonna work, because I would post certain things, I would get certain lower views. So I was just like, okay, maybe I need to kind of water it down. So you know what that means? That basically means I was compromising. And because of that, I was like, no, we can't compromise. So I just deleted it. God says, if the right hand causes you to sin, do what? Cut it off. So I cut off that TikTok. I started a new TikTok.
So this is the new TikTok. What I realized is that TikTok is not pushing these videos as much as it was pushing my other videos when I was posting nonsense, but it's all good as long as one person that needs to hear the message sees it.
And yeah, but like I said, I was doing a lot of prayer, a lot of fasting, a lot of reading my words. So I didn't even have time to really, like, I was still trying to build content, because I just feel like that's a part of my calling, to be honest. Like, doing content is definitely, like, if you know me in real life, you know that I'm full of personality. Like, it cannot just be limited to the people around me. I have to bless the whole world with it. I have to bless everybody with it. I'm actually too much. Okay. So yeah, like if y'all see me being bold and radical on like the things that I say, the things that I do, because y'all don't even understand. It's deep. Okay. So God calls me to go into a fast during the time I was going to one of my girls' wedding, a friend's wedding. Mind you guys, this wedding is a wedding I was waiting for because like she was not she did not come to play. Her husband was not coming to play. The wedding was fire. Okay, the food was popping, and God asked me to go on a fast. Do you know, y'all, the Daniel fast? So I could eat, but like it was basically like a vegan diet. And one thing about me, food is my favorite thing. I was like, okay, God, you know what? The wedding is this month, so I'm gonna do it. God is like, nope, you gotta do it this month. I'm like, why? Anyways, I ended up doing it. So I went to the wedding. It was not a good experience. I'm not gonna sit here and try to act like, oh my gosh, guys, it was like, no, I hated it. I hated every minute of it. I was there just looking at all the food, and it was the food.
So I was trying to find pictures of some of the food at the wedding, but apparently I didn't take any for obvious reasons.
It looked so amazing. Like there was just so many different options, like, especially the appetizers were. It's okay. It's okay because one thing for certain, it was worth it. That fast was worth it. Okay, I'm not ready to talk about the results, but I will talk about that soon one day. But it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. And yeah, so that's just some of the things that happened. I went to my friend's wedding while fasting. And the joke about it is I stopped fasting a long time ago because I was upset because I felt like I fasted about like specific things that still didn't end up working out. So I kind of was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just stop fasting. But God was like, nah, you're gonna start fasting again. And a good Christian, you have to fast, man. I don't see how you could live in this life without making that sacrifice, without going through like consecration periods. And it's just impossible. Like, I'm so sorry to break it to you. It is impossible. You cannot live as a Christian and never fast. Like, you have to make those sacrifices. So you just do. And yeah, I didn't go on my personal Instagram for about 6 months. I just left the world and was just. Guys, my son was so loud. I just had to go yell at him and tell him to get off his game so I could wrap this video up. But yeah, so yeah, the last 6 months of my year, I just spent it rebuilding, refocusing, sacrificing my flesh, because it be the flesh, y'all. It be the flesh that's gonna cause you to go down some paths you ain't trying to be on. It be the flesh that will cause you to put yourself in situations where you're opening unnecessary doors. It be the flesh that will cause you to be disobedient to God and cause the enemy to laugh at your father. It be the flesh that will cause you to grieve the Holy Spirit. So I had to really do whatever it took to die to my flesh, because this flesh is playing and I'm gonna continue to do it. If I gotta fast 2 weeks out of the month, every month, I would do it. Whatever. My thing is, I told God, whatever it takes, I'm doing it. Okay, because all I want is God. I want to be like Abraham and be like a friend to God. So yeah, that was basically my 2023, and it ended off really good. The first half was kind of like but it ended off great. Like, everything got figured out. Everything that was falling apart, like I was telling my friends, it's like it seems like everything was falling apart so it could fall into place, and that's exactly how it happened. And I couldn't be more grateful. Like, one thing about God, he's gonna pull up for his kids. He's gonna show up and show out. And that's what he did. So it's crazy when you hear people's testimonies. You're like, yeah, but would you do that for me? Yeah, he will. He will. He sure will. You just have to seek him, and you have to put him first, and you have to trust him and put your hope in him, and he'll definitely come through. So yeah, that was my 2023. It was an amazing year, and yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. There's gonna be more videos coming soon. So if I ever disappear, it's because I'm taking time off for prayer. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye. And once again, Happy New Year!